We've reached the hour of 8 o'clock, and that's the time where INEC says it will actually be reeling out some of the other figures. But give us a sense of what millions of viewers who are watching us right now, what they should be expecting in terms of how elections have gone in Nigeria, and the fact that anybody who will win these election, what must that person get out of these figures and out of the general the mathematics and the permutations generally?
Interestingly, what has happened is we have two candidates. We have General Buhari. The first time he contested was in 2003. Even though he did not win the general vote, he actually did win in the northern region as a bloc. So he had 12.3 million votes in 2003 compared to President Obasanjo's 8.9 million votes. What happened then was he did not win any state in the south. Same thing happened in 2011. He had 11.1 million votes in northern Nigeria. The reason why he lost as well was he absolutely won no state in the south part of Nigeria. What we're expecting is the opposition has attempted to position themselves to be able to win the majority in the south this time around. But the current party as well, we know historically has a large chunk of votes, especially between the southeast and the south region. And that is what is going to make this election result very, very interesting.
All right, you'll go on in a minute, but the images, those live pictures coming through from Abuja, well, that's where the Independent National Electoral Commission will continue the announcement of more results for this presidential elections. And don't forget that, yes, indeed, we will bring them to you live as it goes on. But Jide, go ahead. You did talk about the most, no, that was a voided votes that you spoke about previously. What exactly about those voided votes?
The voided votes, we'll either need the rec or an official from INEC to explain what had gone wrong in these states that we had lots of voided votes. Apart from lots of voided votes, what is particularly even more interesting is the number of people that got accredited and did not cast their votes. I'm more interested in the explanation of why people got accredited and didn't cast their votes. The simple excuse, which I don't want us to believe, is that after accreditation, a lot of people went home and never got back. I wouldn't want to accept that explanation. I think what had happened was a lot of people did get accredited, but for whatever reason, which is still hard to understand, people got accredited and never got the opportunity to vote. And if you look at the huge numbers of those that got accredited and didn't vote, within just these 8 states that we have, when more states come in, we will see a lot of numbers growing of people that got accredited and didn't get to vote. And this is something that I would want us to keep an eye on as the other results come in. Another interesting thing is everybody wants to know what's going to happen in the Northwest. And traditionally, if you look at one of the contestants, and that's the general, historically, the major challenge for him has been the North Central. In 2003, for example, he won no states in the North Central. In 2011, the only state he won in the North Central then was Niger State. What we have based on the results that have come in today is one Kogi State.
Yeah.
And that is a new trend. He's never won in Kogi State before.
What about in Southwest?
Now, in the Southwest, historically as well, he's never won any location in the Southwest. But this time around, the only location he's lost in the Southwest is Ekiti State. It's one of the other 4 states that have been released in the Southwest. And these are trends that have defined everything that has happened in history. Historically, the general has never, ever won any state in southern Nigeria. And we have results right now that he's won 4 out of the 5 states that have been released in the southwest of Nigeria.
Boris, what are your thoughts along this line?
Basically, the reasons are simple. The CPC in 2011 was a party that was mainly all about General Buhari. If you look at the CPC in 2011, apart from a few people from the southwest and some few persons from the middle belt, there were really no political heavyweights in the CPC apart from the clout of the general. But after the Even his running mate, running mate in 2011 was not a politician. He was a known pastor. And so, but in 2015, you have an alliance of 3 major political parties: the AMPP, the ACN, and the CPC. The ACN, we all know, controls politics, starting from the politics of Lagos, and gradually they were able to spread their tentacles into, you know, the entire Southwest. That it almost became, it was like a taboo for you now to oppose the policies or to stand in opposition to the ACN in the Southwest. They were seen from the lens of the late sage Chief Obafemi Awolowo in the Southwest. We saw that in the campaigns also. And so, with that, you expected that naturally the ACN bloc in the APC should be able to deliver their stronghold, you know, to their presidential candidate, and which was one of the major reasons for the alliance. If you listen to Barale Musa in 2011 after the alliance, he did say that for any party to be able to stand PDP eyeball to eyeball in any election, you need to drop your pride and, you know, form an alliance with other fringe, what you would call them fringe political parties.
Let me even bring in this other part. Pardon me to jump in. Nasarawa, in 2011, the figures we have here shows that the PDP polled 408,997. The ACN polled 1,204, and the CPC had 278,390. Now, you were talking about an alliance. Now that that has happened, Nasarawa, the PDP polled 273,460 to that of APC's 236,838. So that was quite close.
Yeah, that was quite close. And let's explain it in this way. Within the 3 zones of the country, especially the 3 zones up north, the general has a history of always winning the summary votes within the 3 zones. The problem he's always had is the North Central. 2003, he lost all the states. 2011, he managed to win only 1 state, that's Niger State. And what then happens is it reduces his margin of victory. Elections are not won by the number of votes you have, and that's important for viewers to clearly understand. Elections are won by your margin of votes. How many more votes do you have?
So if you win more states than the other party, and the other party that has won less states can have far more votes, total votes, than the state that has won more states.
Exactly, and that's what exactly happened in 2011. For example, in 2011, within the South region, we had 6.3 million voters. 6.1 million voted for the president. In the southeast part of Nigeria, we had 5 million voters. 4.9 million voters went to the president. So between the southeast and the south-south, the president had an advantage of approximately 11 million votes. And based on what we've seen coming out from Enugu at the moment, it's showing that the trend of what happened in 2011 is about to repeat itself.
Well, also looking through the 2015 elections, control of most critical states, I'll let you comment before I bring in Liberos on this one. You did say something about controlling most critical states, PDP 7, APC 5, APGA 1. Is that any significant with the results we're seeing so far?
It's not significant yet because those state results haven't been announced. So they are, based on PVC collection, there are 13 states that hold 53% of all PVCs. Now, within those 13 states, 5 of them, Lagos, Oyo, Edo, Kano, and Borno states, hold the strongest number of PVCs. You also have 7 PDP states. So we are waiting for the results of these 13 states that account for more than 50% of PVCs that have been distributed.
Let me ask you this. In 2011, what we had for the final results was 58% for the PDP, 31% for the CPC, and the ACN 5.41%. What will be the game changer this time around?
Now the game changer is going to be quite interesting. Let's look at it in clear perspective. I mean, 2003, the total votes the general had was 12.7 million. In 2007, he then had 6.6 million votes. And then in 2011, he only had 12.2 million votes. So in all the elections the general has contested, his best result is 12.7 million. Let's hold that result in one hand. Now let's look at the PDP's results. In 1999, they had 18 million. In 2003, they had 24 million. In 2007, they had 24 million. And in 2011, they had 22 million. So what this result lets you understand is the PDP's worst result is 18 million. The general's best result is 12.7 million. In summary terms, the PDP's worst result is better than the general's best result.
In the past.
In the past. Now, for the general to attempt to win that has to be a dramatic change. The general is against a party whose worst result is better than his own best result. Now, that is the major change that he needs to find a way of juggling if he's to win it. The PDP also understands this result. They understand their strong points. They understand their strong states. At the moment, the APC only has 14 states. The PDP has 21 states. If you look at those numerical advantage that the PDP has, it does seem that they will have an advantage. But clearly, if you also look at the PVCs distributed in the southern parts of Nigeria, then the APC has an advantage. And that's why we're interested in the key results that the INEC will release.
Okay, so at the moment, you say the control of those most critical states is not yet out, if that figure could pop up. So you say at the time that is released, who knows, that some things could just change.
But at the moment, it's also clear that nobody gets agitated. The PDP isn't in leading position. The APC is also not in any leading position. Historically, both candidates have the potential to win this. Historically, the general has understood his weak areas and he has worked on it. The PDP also understands the strong areas. They are working on it. So this election still can't be called yet. This election, only one person, I think, currently knows who has won, and that's Professor Jega.
All right, let me quickly ask you. You explained how 2011 panned out, and now you, of course, are now saying that it appears the dynamics is changing. Does the dynamics, which are the states now, because you talked about North Central states and the Southwestern state, which probably will do a swing in the elections. But which of the states now, this change of dynamics that you talked about, which of these states can now really swing the elections from the figures that we're expecting?
Now, for the South, let's look at the states that can swing the election in the state. Lagos is the key state within the Southwest that can swing the election in the South. In the South, the three key states, Rivers, Delta, Akwa Ibom, none of those state results have been released. For the Southeast, Imo, Abia, and Anambra, none of those states have been released. For the Northwest, Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, and Jigawa, none of those states have been released. For the North Central, Niger, Benue, Plateau, those three states were the states that had 1 million plus votes in 2011. None of those states have been released. For the Northeast, Borno and Bauchi, those are the only two states that had 1 million plus votes. None of those states have been released. And that is why we are expecting those results to come in any moment from now. Once we plug in those numbers, it becomes clearer on who is winning and who is losing.